Hello, this is Riley Smith with Make Good Creative Network. Maybe you've said this a couple of times. I just don't have time to write. I don't have time. There's no time. We've all said it. Whether it's about a book or a blog or really any creative endeavor, we've probably all made the claim at some point that we just don't have time. Okay, maybe it's true. I have an imagination. I can imagine life circumstances where you don't have any time to write. I mean, life, gets in the way, to paraphrase a charming actor. But if you're really hoping to make a commitment and make time for writing, which I'm assuming you are, because otherwise why did you click on this video? Perhaps it was my awesome thumbnail skills. But if you're really looking to make time to write, then I'm going to share with you 3 simple ways that I made time to write even before I was a full-time freelancer. So these tips work for me really well now, but they also worked when I was working 40, 45 hours a week at a full-time day job. These 3 things helped me make time outside of work hours to finish a whole novel and become a freelancer and start that, get all that writing done. So if you were tired of the 9-to-5 grind and you would like to grind even more, but for writing now, here are my 3 tips to make more time for writing. So the very first thing you have to do, I actually call this step 0, because without this step, none of the rest of them will work. You have to put writing time on your calendar. You have to have a physical place on your phone or in a little book or up on the wall of your house, but you have to put writing time on the calendar. Whatever works for you, however long you want to try and write for, you have to actually schedule it. You cannot do the other steps on this list, expect that it'll make time to write, and expect that it's going to magically happen unless you are committed to putting writing time on your calendar. So right now, commit to putting writing time on your calendar. That is sacred time. That is when you sit down in your chair, butt in the chair, hand on the pencil or on the keyboard, and you are ready to write. You may be wondering, where do I put this time? I just told you, Riley, I don't have time to write, so where do I put this time? That's for the next 3 steps. But first, you have to be dedicated to scheduling in your writing time. The first thing you need to do to make time to write, quit or delegate something that is not writing. I get how hard this can be, all right? I used to be a perfectionist or a narcissist, I can't really tell. But I was always saying, it'll be better if I do it myself. I was saying that about everything, and guess what? It's not always better if I do it myself. There's lots of things I'm not very good at, all right? Whether it's something needs to be drawn or washed or needs to be, or taxes. I actually do those myself. But the point is, there were a lot of things that I was taking on my shoulders that didn't need to be there. So something in your life, you have to quit or delegate. The way you figure out how to do this is write out your usual week. What is a standard week like in your life? Now pick one thing from that standard week and ask somebody else to do it. If there's something on there that doesn't have to be done at all, for instance, there are a lot of things that you don't actually need to do. Be honest about what your week looks like. For me, I deleted TikTok. It was hard. I was sad to see it go. I love TikTok. It's so entertaining. But I realized I was spending 3 or 4 hours on TikTok every day. That's time that needed to go somewhere else. Now, I'm not one of those people that's like, social media is always bad. I mean, you're watching me on YouTube right now, and you probably saw this video link on Facebook or Twitter. It's an important way to connect with other people, but 3 to 4 hours on TikTok was not necessary. So I deleted TikTok, and that made tons more time and energy for my writing. If you can't find something to just quit, you're gonna have to delegate. I know it's so hard to ask for help. I know how hard it is. But here's the thing, writing is a group project. That might sound kind of wacky, but as you finish your book, you're gonna realize you need people to give you feedback. You're gonna need editors when you're ready to publish. You're gonna need a whole slew of people. Even if you self-publish, you're gonna need cover designers, and still you're going to need other people to look it over and edit, beta read. You're going to need advice on how to market. Writing a book is a group project. Get used to asking for help. So find one thing in your week that you can either get rid of completely and it won't make a flim-flam bit of difference in your life, or find one thing that you can delegate or ask somebody to help with. The second step is, and I know you're probably not going to want to do this, but it's necessary. We're going to tell everyone we know that we are writing, that we are working on a project. We're going to tell everybody what that project is, what we think about it. We're going to tell everybody because we're making a commitment. You're making a commitment right now to your project, your writing, your passion. And imagine all the other commitments that you make. What if you never told anybody about them? What if the person you love most in the world got down on one knee with a beautiful, beautiful diamond ring and said, "Will you marry me and promise to never tell anybody else?" That might be exciting for like a week, but then you'd be like, where do I put the ring? Like, it's confusing. So when we make a commitment, we tell people, and that brings more pressure on us, good pressure, social pressure, to actually accomplish the thing that we've set out to do. It also leads to that magical thing, encouragement. When you talk to other people about your project and are honest about how passionate you are, people are going to be excited for you. They're going to ask you questions. Now, no one's going to be as excited as you are because it's your brain baby. Nobody likes other people's babies as much as they like their own babies. If they do, they would probably steal the baby, and that's not good. No one's going to like your brain baby as much as you like it, but people are going to be excited. They're going to ask questions, and their questions are going to lead to new and wonderful things you hadn't thought about before. Some people are going to be jerks. Some people are going to say, "Oh, you can't do that," or "Are you sure you're enough writer?" or "Why are you wasting time with that?" Those people are assholes. Don't talk to them. Don't talk to them about your project anymore. Talk to them about, I don't know, sports. What are they into? You're into writing, you cool cat. But avoid those people, but keep talking to the other people who make you feel motivated and excited. Besides just telling people what we're working on, we're also going to tell them when we're working on it. I don't mean that like every time you sit down and write, you have to text all your friends like, look at me with my laptop. I mean, you can do that if it makes you feel good. I know, like, I tell people when I'm working sometimes, like, ooh, look at me. And that feels nice. But what I mean is, tell people your scheduled time to write. So if somebody invites you to a party, don't just say, "Oh, I can't go, I'm busy." Say, "I can't go, that's my writing time. I write every week from 3 to 5. That does two things. One, it cements it in your head how important it is, because when you don't do other things to do your writing instead, it keeps telling you how important it is, and you keep building up the habit, and your brain will want to do more and more of it because your brain loves habits and loves justifying effort. And the second thing is that now we have social pressure. You missed your friend Debbie's pool party. If you don't have a novel in a little while, you're going to look like a jerk. So social pressure helps us stay focused while we are writing. Now I consider our third and final step the most powerful because it kind of encapsulates everything else that we've been talking about. The third step is to join a weekly or bi-weekly writing group. This is not a book club. You're not reading other people's writing and then chatting about it. This is a group of writers who are either working on their stuff during the writing session when they meet, or work as a critique group where different people in the group bring 10 pages and everybody else offers their opinion. That works too. But the point is, it has to be a group where you are feeling the social pressure, that again, to make sure that you write every week. And being around other writers is just magical. It really helps. Being a part of one of these groups is how I managed to finish a novel in a year that I had been hemming and haw about for 2 years before that. I wrote a couple of pages and I threw out a bunch of first tries, and I was like, no, like, I can't figure out how to start this. For 2 years, I danced around this idea. And then I joined a writer's group. I met every Saturday. I sat down, surrounded by all these other cool people who are working on their own projects. I felt motivated. I cranked that bitch out in a year, and now I'm querying that book. I'm really confident that it's either going to be picked up by an agent, or if it's not my time for that, I'm going to put it out as self-publishing, and I think people are really going to enjoy it. So it was thanks to that writing group I joined that I was able to finish it at all. A really good place to find groups like this is Meetup. It's a really cool app, MEETUP. I have mentioned it before on this channel. I think it's really awesome for finding other creatives, but specifically if you just put in writing or writers, you'll find all sorts of awesome groups in your area who do exactly what I'm talking about. And like I said, this step is so critical because it makes you schedule time. It makes you drop something else out of that time. You got to get rid of something on your Saturdays or Thursdays or whatever it is so that you can go do this. And it provides that social pressure. So it combines all the wonderful things about the previous steps. Plus, you can ask people for help about your manuscript. You can talk about it. You also get that social aspect. Everything is beautifully wrapped into one thing if you go and join a writer's group. So if you are serious about your writing, if you want to make it your career, or you just really want to finish a book, get involved with a writer's group that meets regularly. You can either join one on Meetup, or a lot of times you can find them on Facebook too, but Meetup was really successful for me. So those are the 3 steps for making more time to write. They've worked for me for several years now. Like I said, thanks to that writing group, I was able to complete a novel that I'm really proud of and that I'm looking to get out to people soon. Hopefully, if I self-publish, it'll be out before the end of next year. And if it ends up being picked up by an agent, it'll probably be a couple more years. But hopefully as soon as I can, we'll get that out because I really love the book. And if I hadn't have been a part of that writing group, I would never have fulfilled that huge goal and dream that I had. Let's go over those 3 steps again really quick. Remember, well, step 0, put something on your calendar. Step 1, delegate or quit something else. Step 2, tell everyone that you are working and when you are working. And 3, join a writer's group. Number 3, being the most important out of any of those steps because it will do all the other steps for you without you really having to think about it. Yay! Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. Comment below if you have any other questions or struggles you'd like help with. If you feel like something else is holding you back creatively, maybe it is time, maybe it's confidence. We have our 21 Creativity Killers Guide. 21 Creativity Killers Guide. It'll walk you through all the different things that could be holding you back, help you diagnose it, and then come up with an action plan to knock it out of your life. It's free. So go ahead and click and download that guide and it'll show you which creativity killer is currently plaguing you and how you can defeat it. If you liked the video, please remember to like the video. Yeah, smash that like button wherever it is. I don't know where it is. Smash that like button and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a make good vid. But most importantly, let's go write stuff. Whoa!